The Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for over 8 months, and I'm still seeing people make the same big mistakes when purchasing it, whether they be newbies to the Nintendo Switch ecosystem or seasoned gaming veterans. So I'm here today to help you reverse those mistakes or not make them at all. So let's get to it. Number one on my list is overpaying for Switch 2 games and accessories. Now that's very simple to do if you're new to Nintendo, because Nintendo games and accessories are usually more expensive than other game systems. It's just always been like that. So if you're just going out paying whatever price you see, you're going to be overpaying. I never pay full price for any Switch 2 games or accessories unless I want to. I actually have a video that has a lot more detail that you can check out. It's called Never Pay Full Price for New Nintendo Switch 2 Games Again. Check that video out. It gives all my techniques, and it also applies to accessories. And a good example of this is Mario Tennis Fever. I purchased this today on the way home from work, and I paid $50 and some odd cents. We'll just say 51. I paid $51 out of my pocket for this game. This is a $69/$70 game that I paid $51 for. How did I do that? I'm a member of the GameStop Club. So I stopped at GameStop and I get $5 off a month coupon. Every month you get a $5 off coupon towards a new game. So I used my $5 off coupon, and somewhere along the line, I can't remember when, I was out and about and some guy was selling a GameStop used gift card, meaning it had some money off of it. And I think there was $18.66 on the card. So I bought it. Now, I know you can't psychically will someone to just sell you a gift card when you're out and about, but if someone comes up to you asking you if you'd like to buy a gift card, 9 times out of 10, people are like, oh no, they don't want to buy that. They're all scared, or I don't know. People just get kind of freaked out when someone comes up asking to sell a gift card. Now, you can take those gift cards and have the guy at GameStop run the gift card and guarantee how much is on it before you buy it off the person, which is what I did. So this game card, or this gift card had $18 off. So I paid $5 for it. So basically it's a $13 gift card. So that $13 with my $5 discount knocked me back up to $18. I got $18 off this game. I would not purchase this game for $70. I like Mario Tennis. I really think this 64 version is probably still the best version, my personal opinion, but I do want to play it, but I don't want to spend $70. So I did not. That's a great example. And really quick, I don't want to turn this into a, save money on games video, but here's another good example. $30 for Star Wars, what the hell is this game even called? Star Wars Outlaws. $30, Walmart. Walked in the door, $30, bought it, walked out. It's a game key card. Game key cards suck, but who cares? Saving money trumps what media the game is on. So you should never have to pay any full price for Nintendo games. If you wait, watch the video, we'll go from there. Accessories, same thing. You can, if you're at GameStop and you have, I don't think that $5 applies to accessories, but with that GameStop card, I could have bought an accessory and saved some money. You can go to Temu. You can go to Amazon. If you look around and see what retail prices are in stores, you can usually find that same item online cheaper. Whether it be a big case like this, these type of cases usually go about $50. Right now, I know that this case is $25, $26 on Amazon. That's an excellent price. It's a $50 case all day. I paid, my wife actually bought this for me. She paid $3. It's a site called OLA. I live in Ohio. It's an auction site, OLA. There's tons of Switch stuff on there, dirt cheap. $4 she got this case for. This is a Switch 1 case. It's not a Switch 2, but it's a great example of not paying full price. This case right here, $16. These cases usually go around $20, and this case holds the Switch and a bunch of accessories. That's why it's so thick. I didn't pay full price for any cases. This case right here, $9. I think right now it's $13. This is a controller case. If you have an $89, now you're not going to get the Switch 2 controller. Well, the Switch 2 Pro controller, I think I've seen it on Temu for like $10 less. But if you have a Switch 2 Pro controller, that's a $90 controller or $80, whatever you get it for. I highly suggest you get a case for it. So $9, say you save $10 on the controller, put that towards a case to store it in. So there's all kinds of ways to save money. It's not always about saving money on everything you buy. It's on the overall purchase. The controller in that case, I didn't pay full price for it altogether. And one more quick example of a case. It's a little dusty. This is a sweet case. Hopefully you can see it's got the Switch 2 logo etched in it. I got this case when the Switch 2 first came out, and cases were really expensive. The most generic cheesy case was $40, $50. This particular case is huge. This is probably the biggest case I've ever seen because the Switch 2 itself is pretty big. So this holds the Switch 2, 3 controllers, dock, and the power supply. You can fit a lot in here. I never carry 3 controllers with me. The reason they had different inserts for this. One had 3 controllers, one had 2. I bought this insert because I can fit more things in here. I'm not putting my game controllers in here. And it's got a little spot for your game cards and a little mesh pouch up here. I paid $30 for this case, and that's when cases were super expensive. Now, this was AliExpress. It came a little smashed in because they never put anything in boxes, but I was able to push it out, and the case works fine. Again, don't pay full price. You can get really nice cases, really nice accessories, and games, and you don't have to pay full price. So that's number 1 big mistake people made. Let's move on. Number 2, buying the wrong accessories. Now that's a big deal there because you can spend a lot of money on something you think you may need and then you don't. A good example are docks. I see people all the time up in the forums, on Reddit, wondering why the Nintendo Switch 2 dock is $120. If you want to buy a secondary dock and you buy the Nintendo one, that's $129. Now, that's ridiculous. There's no need to do it because, for one, that dock's bulky. 9 times out of 10, people want a second dock to travel with or to move around, or maybe put somewhere that usually you're going to move it around. And what I suggest there is this Gemdo dock right here. Check out my dock videos. This video is not really meant to reference my other videos, but I have so many videos, I usually cover multiple subjects. So check out my dock series. I have 4 or 5 dock videos, and I talk about this dock. I think the dock in general is like the best third-party dock. This is the Gemdo dongle dock, and this works just as good as the Nintendo Switch dock. This is $30, and this is I think this is the 60 hertz, which is $27. For $29, you can get the 144 hertz. I usually don't need any more than 60. I'd use this for traveling. And another good example is, okay, we'll add things up here. So this is $29. You can get this stand that the Switch 2 can sit on, and then this dock can plug into the bottom of it. So now you have a stand that you can put the Switch on and plug this into, because plugging this into the bottom of the Switch, you can lay the Switch flat on the table, but this just works better. So I have the stand, and a good example is an HDMI cable. People usually buy the wrong HDMI cables. You go to Amazon saying, I need a long cable, the one that came with the Switch doesn't work, and they buy a cheap cable, you plug it in, and then you're wondering why it's not 4K, it doesn't give the option for 4K. Well, guess what? The Nintendo Switch 2 connected to your TV can tell if you have the right cable. This is an HDMI 2.0 or 2.1 cable, which is what you need to use all the capabilities of the Switch from your Switch to the TV. Believe it or not, digital is not digital anymore. You can't just buy an HDMI cable and it's going to work with all the features the Switch 2 has plugged into your TV. You need an HDMI 2.1 cable. I see this mistake all the time. So you need to be able to buy the right accessories. Big mistake people make, and I just want to show you really quick. You can see on there that it says, HDMI 8K, I think, something like that. Whatever it says, 8K, but the description will usually, tell you. And Amazon is really good about the description. This cable, I think, was maybe $7, and I bought a 2-pack. It might have been less. And again, I didn't pay full price. Go into Best Buy, look at this cable. It's probably $35. So it's knowing how to buy and not overpaying. A big mistake that people make in buying the wrong accessories and overpaying for the accessories. Those kind of go together. So make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you do your research when you purchase something so you don't buy the wrong accessory. And then if you overpay and buy the wrong one, you're out of luck, and hopefully you can return it. Let's see. Oh, overpaying for accessories. Really quick. Controllers. This is the Nixie Hyperion Pro. I mentioned this in a lot of my videos. I don't get paid by Nixie. Nixie has never done anything for me. I just love this controller, and you can get this on Temu for $33. This is a $70 controller if you buy it from Nixie or on any of the big shops online, but you can get it for less than half price from Temu, and this is an excellent controller. Don't buy a Power A controller or something, from Walmart that doesn't even have a gyro. This can be used as a Joy-Con clicked on the sides. I mean, this smokes any controller you're going to buy retail, and it's probably cheaper than this is still cheaper than a Power A controller unless you get them on sale. Another example of knowing how to purchase and buying the wrong item and saving money on accessories. Number 3 on my list is digital storage. Another mistake I've seen people make, they buy a regular SD card, plug it into the Switch 2, and it doesn't work. And they're like, why isn't this working? You need a micro SD Express. That is a specific new style SD card. The micro SD Express card will work in a regular old school micro SD slot, but the other way around does not work. An old school card won't work in the Switch 2. A lot of people think like, well, I'm not going to spend that money on it, and I don't care if it loads a little slower. I'll just buy the old style. Doesn't work that way. It won't even recognize it. It will not work. You have to buy the micro SD Express. And let me make sure I'm holding that up to the camera so you can read it. So hopefully you can see that and read it. I'll get my face out of there so it usually focuses. You have to buy this. And I don't suggest buying a 256. Buy a 512. And if you want to save money, buy the Samsung P9 512. I believe right now it's on sale on Amazon for 80 bucks. That is a steal for $80. Excellent card, Samsung. But digital storage is a big problem, and also not understanding about digital storage. Remember, the Switch 2 itself has 256 on board, and then you add another 256 here. You got 512. And that's enough. That's a good amount to hold games, but it's not going to hold a ton of games if you buy a lot of digital. The problem is the 256 just really isn't. Money per gig or money per meg or whatever, it's just not a good deal. That's why you should just spend the extra money and get the 512. But it's about knowing what you're doing. Go ahead and read up. Don't believe everything you hear from people talking. Actually read articles. IGN, Tom's Hardware, places like that. Read up on micro SD Express and the Nintendo Switch 2 to inform yourself about how that works so you understand it. So that's my third, big mistake that people make is not understanding the storage and digital storage and the micro SD Express. Moving on. Number 4 on the list is not buying Nintendo Switch online. Now, I know I'm going to get all the haters telling me I'm a shill, bootlicker, whatever words they want to use, because I'm pushing Nintendo Switch online. People, it's $20 a year for Nintendo Switch Online for the year. That is dirt cheap. And even if you don't play online games, I take that back. I played with my daughter a little bit. She's away at college. We play some Quake 2 using Nintendo Switch Online. We've got the family membership. Other than that, I never play online. I can if I want to, but I'm a big more like a one-player game type guy. So I don't even play online. But I will never get rid of my Nintendo Switch Online because you have online cloud storage. Number 1 right off the top. That is worth the $20 a month because you can automatically set your games that when you save it, boom, it saves them online. If your Switch blows up, your SD card breaks, whatever the heck may happen on your Switch, you will not lose your saves because they're in the cloud on Nintendo Switch Online. That makes it worth the $20 right there. And you also get I don't know if it's Genesis games. You get Super Nintendo, Nintendo, and maybe Game Boy. You get free games that you can play on your Switch 2 with that service. And there's some good games on there. And like all the Nintendo tournament games they use for for all the Nintendo tournaments they've done over years, the tournament versions of those games are on there. So I can sit there and say that alone is worth it. The online save is worth it. Being able to play with your friends is worth it. What else? There's probably some other things on there I'm forgetting about. But Nintendo Switch Online for $20 is you're crazy not to buy it. The games you get alone are worth it. You could pay the $20, and if you're broke, you could play those games until you get some money. So get Nintendo Switch Online. It's a big mistake. I see people poo-pooing it, saying it sucks, it's not worth it. You're crazy. And if you get online with expansion, then you get GameCube games, Game Boy Advance games. The Virtual Boy just came out, even though you have to buy the device to play them. But the online with expansion is excellent. Now that I can see not paying the extra money for, because that knocks it up, I think, to $40. So that might not be worth it. But the straight online, well worth it. Get it. Trust me. That's a big mistake I see people make. Let's move on. Number 5, Switch 2 screen protector. Now this one, I'm kind of on the fence here. I don't want to rip anybody because I went almost the whole life of my Switch 2, even though they're still selling it, on my Switch 1, I did not put a screen protector on my Switch until I put one on my Switch 1. Because I was like a lot of other people. Old school screen protectors are such a pain in the ass to put on. But dude, I gotta tell you, these new screen protectors, and they're probably not all that new because I'm not really a big screen protector guy. I am now. These new screen protectors go on so easy. Like, you don't really get the air bubbles unless you totally blow it when putting it on. And I'm just going to use this as an example. This iVolver screen protector kit, I paid $7. Amazon, next day shipping, nothing else. Well, probably tax. No shipping fees, nothing. next day for this kit here, and it comes with 3 screen protectors, the wipes to clean it all off before you put the screen protector on, and this unit right here. You drop the screen protector in here, drop it on your Switch, and it puts the screen protector exactly centered on your Switch 2. And then you just run your finger across it, and the thing automatically just sticks to the Switch 2. Whoa, I almost dropped it. I mean, it is so simple to put these on. And if you make a mistake on the first one, pull it off and throw it away. Who cares? You got 2 more to deal with. And for this price, for $7, well worth it. I put the one on my Switch 2 because the Switch 2 is kind of misleading. Nintendo tells you like, hey, we have it comes with a screen protector built in, like from Nintendo. The problem with it is it's plastic, but it is goofy as hell that they have a screen on the Switch 2. Nintendo has their crappy plastic screen protector over that, and then we're putting one over top of that. Seems kind of goofy, but trust me, it works. I don't worry about my Switch 2 at all, and it's a big mistake. I see a lot of people like, I don't need a screen protector, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, you see the same person post on Reddit or on a gaming site somewhere, like, oh, my screen got scratched taking it in and out of the dock. I don't know how the hell that can happen. I've taken my Switch 1 the whole lifetime in and out of the dock and never scratched it. But people are scratching it. You are not going to scratch the glass one. And even if you do or crack it, you can pop it off and put another one on. Again, buy a kit that comes with 3 or 4 for under $10. Huge mistake not putting a screen protector on. And don't worry if the reason you haven't is because you're scared you can't put it on right. They're simple. Very easy. And moving on. So we are at number 6 on the list. Not getting a case for your Switch 2. Now we went over, cheap cases and, maybe buying the wrong case. If you buy a big case and you should get a small case, it kind of goes in with buying the wrong accessories. But this right here is a small case. This is what I use to travel. My Switch 2 fits in it, and it fits in my backpack. I have a travel video, like the ultimate travel setup. I can't think of what the hell I called the video, but it's, the best travel setup for your Switch 2, and it shows what I use and how I travel with my Switch 2, and this case is in that with some other things. But I'm more or less talking, well, I think you should have a case like this, or even a big case, some type of case to put it in, because this is a mobile device. This isn't like a PlayStation or a Nintendo 64 or something where you put it under the TV and don't worry about it. This is mobile. You're moving it around. You could drop it. You could set it over here. My wife is notorious for throwing shit across to me on the couch, and my Switch is sitting right there and it lands on it. She threw her keys on it one night and it hit it. But I had this case on it. This is a grip case where it goes around the base of the Switch, it goes around the Joy-Cons, and it has a cover. So when I'm not using it, if I want to set it down and don't want to put it away in a big case, I can put it in this, set it down. If my wife throws something on it, falls off the couch on the carpet, it's not going to hurt it. That's a big mistake I see, is not getting some type of grip case, and preferably one with a cover on it. Again, I have some videos that talk about this, and they make some that are up to $70. Very good cases, come with a lot of accessories. I don't need all that. This case right here is $15, and I got this from Temu. It's kind of hard to find now. They make a different one that's $21. Still a good deal. I have some videos on that. Go back and check those videos out to go into more detail. A big mistake I see people, though, they don't get some type of case or protection for your $500 Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 2. Big mistake. Get one. I guarantee you won't regret it. And really quick, I know a lot of this stuff involves spending money, and we've spent $500 on the system already, but it goes back to the idea of don't pay full price. Shop smart. Look around. I spend at least 45 minutes to an hour every evening scanning games, scanning accessories to see if I can get some deals for something that I want. And I do get a lot of stuff for the channel to do reviews with too. And I buy it all myself. I don't have anybody sponsoring me. I'm a small channel, So anyway, and moving on, sorry. And this is the last point. Putting too much faith in the internet is a big mistake that people make, and it might even be the biggest if you're new to the Switch 2. Because people will go to forums, go to Facebook channels and ask, hey, is this game any good? Should I buy this? What should I buy? And you're going to get 500 answers. If someone like me who's a budget, conscious guy, I'm going to give you, what I think is the best case for the best price. Maybe not the best case, but the best case for the best price, or the best case for me. Everybody uses things differently, and that's what you're going to get. So you may, listen to somebody and buy something and go, this thing sucks, because everybody has their own personal preferences. So don't put too much faith in the internet. And then we also have a ton of misinformation out there. Great example is, we're talking about buying the wrong accessories, the Switch overheating. I just saw an overheating video today, and I thought we were past this overheating bullshit. People, the Switch 2 is probably has the best cooling system out of any console I've ever seen. And I've been playing video games since the day they've been invented, and playing consoles since the day they've been invented. Because the way you hold the Switch 2, you're holding it like this. Heat rises. We have vents in the bottom, an internal fan that sets up top. Even if I held it like this with no fan, the air would go through and go up. That fan exasperates that makes it better, gets you more airflow. And the processor and GPU in this is not running at full speed. They've toned it down to help with overheating. And I'm sure there's going to be a mod comes out some in the lifetime of the Switch where you can overclock it and go faster. But this is not going to overheat. So you don't need to buy a device that your dock sits on to stop it from overheating. Those range anywhere from 20 to 30. I think I've seen one for $40. That's $40 you can spend on a game. The Switch 2 is not going to overheat. If you check out a YouTuber's name's Jacob B, he buys like used systems and does, just tests out buying stuff off websites, and he buys a lot of used stuff. When the Switch 2 came out, he plugged up all the ports on the Switch 2 and it still didn't overheat. So just a good example of putting too much faith into the internet. Someone tells you it overheats. Oh my God, I panic because I don't understand fully about the Switch 2. Now I'm spending money on a dock with a fan when I could take that money and put it towards a game or some other device. So research things, listen to multiple people. I really can't even tell you anywhere legitimate to go, because whether you go Reddit, Facebook, YouTube, there's always clowns out there that are lying and coming up with bullshit to mess up people who don't understand and make them waste their money or break their system or do something dumb. And I don't think that the people are dumb. It's just when you don't understand it, it's easy to do something that someone tells you to do because you're putting too much faith in them. So don't put all that faith in the internet. And I hope this video helps you out. I hope you didn't make any of these big mistakes, and I hope this prevents you from making any of these big mistakes. Please place something in the comments if you have any comments on any of these points that I brought up. Did you make that mistake? Do you know other mistakes you've seen people make that you could put in the comments and help everybody else out? Go ahead and do that. It'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you tomorrow on the next edition of Switch 2 News Direct. Peace.